Shalom, Yasharahla. It's your brother Nehemiah from Nations and Kings and Priests, California section, NoKaP Cali. All right, and I'm back at it again with this Sunday milk. All right, Sunday milk, the first day of the week. All right. So before I get started, I want to say, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahwahshi. I also want to send out a mighty shalom to all the Akim out there on the highways and byways, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. All right. Shaking the hand, building our people back to the marriage, showing them extremes amounts of love, doing the work and magnifying the Most High's name to the best of their ability. I also want to send a mighty shalom to all the Akwath out there, being sincere, being diligent, being keepers at home, teachers of good things in the home to their children. All right, reverencing their husbands, being submissive and walking in the paths of our righteous foremothers. All right, shalom, shalom. I also want to send out a mighty shalom and a double honors to the elders of the Marshara Yasharhala and the elders of all the other camps who are sincerely and diligently follow the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, and continue to teach and wake up our people and continue to be a servant unto their nation. All right, shalom, shalom. All right, so now let's get into the class, man. Let's get into the class. This is Sunday Milk. What is Love? Part 2. All right, if you ain't seen Part 1, scroll back through the videos and go to Sunday Milk, What is Love, Part 1. All right, so this is a Part 2. Okay, and also while you watch What is Love, Part 1, you also need to watch I did a class called Early Milk Wednesday, to be in order. I was supposed to do the Desire to Sincere Milk class first and then the What is Love to be in order, but I was in the spirit, and I stumbled. So I would recommend that you watch the early morning Wednesday milk class first, and then the Sunday milk, via my channel. But if you're on a Nations and Kings and Priests channel, you can go ahead and just watch it in order as it comes out because it's being premiered. All right. So let's get started. All right. When we do the Sunday milk, I'm always going to start out with 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2 and Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9, because the milk is the word and the word is the law, statutes, and commandments. So majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be starting with 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2 and Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. All right. And let's get into it. It's the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2. As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word that ye may grow thereby. All right. Desire the sincere milk. You have to desire the Torah. You have to desire the Torah. All right. The first 5 books of the Bible. You have to get yourself acclimated and get yourself used and learn and desire to want to be skillful in knowing the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. Knowing the feast days, knowing the dietary law, knowing the law of marriage and the dowry. All right. Knowing the Torah to the best of your ability. And in order for you to know that, you have to desire the sincere milk, you have to want to do it, and you have to read. All right. And this is a newborn babe series. All right. This is strictly to newborn babes, but other Akim, Akwathim who are in the truth, who wanna go through and sharpen their sword, they can also go over this as well. All right. This is a newborn babe series, but hey, all the Akim, the whole nation can go through these things to sharpen their sword, to keep these things in their memory and in remembrance. All right. So it says, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word that ye may grow thereby. All right. I already covered in previous classes what the word is. All right. So I'm just going to be saying the word, the milk is the word, and the word is the law, statutes, and commandments. When you go back to the previous classes, you will see that, and it's broken down. So if you haven't seen those classes, go back, watch those classes, and then get yourself up to speed with this class. All right. And with that, let's go to the book of Isaiah. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and verse 9. All right. And it reads, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? All right. So the Most High is asking, who is he going to teach knowledge, and who is he going to make to understand doctrine? All right. Them that are weaned from the milk. What the Most High is saying is you have to know the law. The milk is the word are the law, statutes, and commandments, which makes the milk the laws, statutes, and commandments, the Tawara. All right. That is who he is going to teach knowledge, and he that he will make understand doctrine. All right. The reason why you have to get the milk first is to understand everything else that comes after it. All right. In order for you to understand sound doctrine and not have itching ears, you have to know the law. In order for somebody to not pull the veil over your eyes, you have to know the law. All right. In order for you to understand prophecies, you have to know the law as well as history. All right. In order for you to understand the Bible in its entirety, you have to know the law. That is the milk. You have to drink the milk. That's why it is said in 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2, desire the sincere milk. You want to get the understanding of everything else. You want the Most High to bless you, that spirit of understanding, wisdom, discernment, and knowledge of everything else. You have to be weaned from the milk first, as it is said, as it is written in Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. All right. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breasts. All right. When you're drawn from the breasts, that means you're starting to grow up to where you don't have to get breastfed milk anymore, to where you can start eating on more fibrous foods. You start eating on harder foods because your teeth growing in now. You starting to gnaw on things now. All right. You can start eating apples. You could start eating grapes. You could start eating burro bananas. All right. And then eventually you start eating meat. All right. And the meat being the prophecies and Paul's epistles and so on. All right. So this is the person that the Most High is going to teach knowledge and whom to make understand doctrine. Is the Akim, wa Akwathim, who are weaned from the milk, who are drinking the milk, and who are drawn from the breasts. All right. So now let's get into it. All right. Since we got that out the way, let's get into it. What is love? Part 2. This is the Sunday milk. All right. Let's drink up. All right. So we're going to start with the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 10. All right. And it reads, love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. Salakia, let me highlight. And let me read that from the top again. It's the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 10. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. All right. So we know that love is keeping the commandments. Once you start keeping the commandments, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17, that you can't have no hate towards your brother. You can't suffer sin upon him. Sin is the transgression of the law, according to 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. All right. So when you love, you worketh no ill to your neighbor. Why? Is because you're following the commandment in Leviticus 19 and 17. All right. And it requires of you that you don't suffer sin upon your brother or your sister. All right. Or your husband or your wife. All right. That's why it says in Romans 13 and 10, love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. The law is the Tawara. It's very simple. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. All right. That's love. When you keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yahweh HaMashiac. All right. And that is an action as well. Like I said in the previous videos, love is an action word. Love requires your feet to be banging the ground. 10 toes on the ground. fulfilling the law. That's action. When you fulfill something, you have to do something. All right. This is very simple. Very, very simple. All right. Drink this milk. Let's get into it. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 18. It's the book of Wisdom, Salakia. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 18. And it reads, and the love is the keeping of her laws. All right. When it's talking about the her in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 18, the her is wisdom. Okay. The her is wisdom. All right. Let's see. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 9 and verse 10 real quick. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. How do you fear the Most High? By keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's how you fear the Most High. That's how you love the Most High. All right. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. And we know, according to Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 5 through 6, a wisdom is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. It's going through the Torah. That's our wisdom. All right. And that's how you fear the Lord. And that's how you love the Lord. It's all interchangeable. It starts to become simple once you start reading. And you start getting the understanding through thy precepts. All right. And the knowledge of the holy is understanding. All right. So I just wanted to bring this precept out because when in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter, verse 18, the wisdom is her. In the Bible, wisdom is referred to as her. All right. Let's go to Sirach chapter 1 and verse 5, or the book of Ecclesiasticus, as some might say, chapter 1 and verse 5. And it reads, the word of Yahweh Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. All right. So the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Most High. According to Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 5 through 6, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments is is our wisdom. All right. Let me just go ahead and grab that real quick. Let me go ahead and just grab that real quick instead of paraphrasing it. All right. I'm just going to read both verses and we're going to highlight them. Salaki, I done bookmarked it. Bear with me. All right. I'm going to make them purple. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and verses 5 through 6. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Most High Yahweh commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. That's an action. For this is your wisdom and your understanding. As we know in Isaiah 28 and 9, whom shall he teach knowledge? Okay. And whom shall he make understand doctrine? Let's read verses from the top again. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. All the other 17 nations. All right. This is your wisdom in the sight of them, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. See, you see how the Most High work? All these other nations will see that we're wise and understanding people once we start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. All right. Now let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon. Let's go back to the Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 6, verse 18. All right. I had the other slides up so I wouldn't have to bounce around in this app. I could just go straight to it. All right. So this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 18. And the love is the keeping of her laws. And we know what the her is now, right? Con. And the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Once you start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, once you start to know what love is, A, you will be assured of incorruption. Okay? Let's read that from the top again. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 18. And love is the keeping of her laws and the giving heed unto her laws. In order for you to give heed to something, you have to be listening. You have to desire it. You have to want to know it. And ultimately, you have to want to do it. And the giving heed unto her laws, unto the laws of wisdom. And wisdom is the law, statutes, and commandments. It's the assurance of incorruption. That's why the Most High has told us, when Moses was telling us too, that this is our wisdom. It keeps us clean. All right? It keeps us from being punished and having curses on us. All right? Let me go ahead and read verse 19 too. Might as well. And incorruption maketh us near unto Yahweh. So that goes to show you that once you start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you start getting closer to the Most High. You're clean, striving to be blameless, without spot. All right. So let's go to the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, as some might like to say. Chapter 2, verse 15. All right. And it reads, they that fear the Most High will not disobey his word. We know what the word is now. All right. And if you forgot, rewatch the videos. This is what this is for. This is for edification, for your teaching, for your learning. All right. They that fear the Most High will not disobey his word. All right. That's how you fear the Lord. And his word is the law, statutes, and commandments. And they that love him will keep his ways. We know his ways. His ways are the Tawara. All right. This is very simple. This is what love is, man. This is what love is. And then as you could see, you could start to see what fear is as well. Through the other precepts that were brought out. So you're getting more than just what is love in this class right now. All right. Y'all should be having a pen and pad in hand and writing these precepts down in the order that they're in. All right. Because everything needs to be done decently and in order according to 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40. Write these precepts down. Meditate on them. Write them onto the frontlets of your lids. Salaki, if I could have said that wrong. But write them into the palm of your hands and into your heart. And teach these things to your Akim wa Akwathim who are not in the truth. And bid them back to the marriage. All right. All right, so then let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 22. You can also write these down in order by book if you want to. If you want to start with, Deuteronomy, you want to start with the Tawara and then on down, you can do that as well, because that's decently in order too, because where you first see it, you could start there, and then you can add the other precepts that I say after that and throughout the other books that were later written. All right. But make sure things are done decently and in order as the Most High loves. All right. So let me go ahead and highlight this. Let me do turquoise. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11 and verse 22. For if ye shall diligently keep all these commandments, which I command you, to do them, to love the Most High Yahweh, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him. You see that? These precepts are plain as day. They're plain as day, man. It doesn't require too much breaking down. it really doesn't require too much breaking down because they're so plain. All right. And through thy precepts, we get understanding, and it makes it even plainer than what it is. It's not hard to understand what love is. It's not hard to understand how to fear the Most High. He shows us through his precepts. All right. Through these precepts. Let's read that from the top again. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11 and verse 22. For if ye shall diligently keep all these words, or Salakia, if ye shall diligently keep all these commandments, keyword diligently, be diligent, which I command you to do them, to love the Most High Yahweh, to walk in all his ways and to cleave unto him. All right. Following these laws, statutes, and commandments, and through prayer and through fasting are ways to cleave unto him. That is how you cleave unto him. All right. Write all these precepts down. Go to What is Love, Sunday Milk, What is Love, Part 1. And then read this, Salakia, not read, but watch this video as well. Sunday Milk, What is Love, Part 2. On the Nations and Kings and Priests channel, it will be in a playlist. It will be easy for you to search. It will be easy for you to go through these things so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of videos and try to find it. It will be in a playlist. All right. And when you go to the playlist section, while you're on the Nations and Kings and Priests channel, or if you're on the NoKaP channel, it will be easy for you to find and you can go straight to it. All right. It's your brother NoKaP from Nations and Kings and Priests, California section, NoKaP Cali. This is another class of the Sunday Milk, What is Love, Part 2, Newborn Babe series. All right. Shalom.